put a tidal wave of emotion upon the back burner. Coming up in this truth, you suffer like a Nat Turner. Terrence Crutcher ain't the first or the last of the black murders. Anybody trying to water you down, they lack the fervor. This the school of the hard knocks, we hard rocks. Come with that smooth talk slick, you get your heart operated on your mind. Is what the Christian church made it on all the lies. And that white man you keep waiting on to fall out of the sky. Nothing but watery eyes and the gnashing of your teeth. We keep this brotherhood strong. Contort a bottle with the priest. We turn the drama into peace. But keep a lookout at the cookout. Anybody got a problem? No, we quick to bring the book out. As a fisher of men, I'm trained to always have my hook out. We them rebels you heard about. Same hands that have you took out 144,000 saints that Christ done took out. We wasn't straight, so we got the crooks out. It's going down. You ain't gotta be from around. Just a member of the family. Religianity, it's just a white man's fantasy to keep us out the land through the vanity of our eyes. You can't deny the devil being a lie and a terrorist. The UPK is real as it gets, the realest it's ever been. Every trooper is evidence, the officers, weapon specialists, the captains of chariots, the generals dropping jewels on you Judas Iscariot. Repent, motherfucker. In the world I wasn't Cupid, the truth made me ruthless. Used to fear death, now I don't give two shits. Bloody knuckles, two fists, rather have my boots kissed. Cook these heathens up like a steak out of Ruth's Chris. Straight out the nooses, they knowin' how we do in a moment. It's hammer time, let a nigga call me Judas. Mr. Mac is on attack mode, I'm ice out on ACO. Never mind, I'm an asshole, my mission defending black folk. Equipped with bait and tackle, standing next to me, listen, you could light a candle. Boots, braids, beards, and grills with all black camo. Coming out of Hebrew Academy, John Rambo. I'm a scrapple of your life. After stepping, fetching Sambo. Keep your bad and bougie ass home. I want my land on. Yasha Allah, prophets of the Father. Watch me pop my collar, fishing out, preparing for the slaughterhouse. Weapons of war in the drought. Hell, you talking about it? God is all love. Why they chalking out bodies with your sawed off religion? Intentions is looking shoddy. Looking shoddy. A hard copy, we make a man out of Punani. The game is like Jumanji, recording it like you Molly. UPK is one body, many members, no duplicates. The fake camps proving this. We in the BX Bronx, my nigga, who you with? We too legit to quit, and it's an all-star weekend. Not a heathen in the atmosphere. The whole damn atlas here, the chariots are not. Yeah, I wish I got my jacket here, passing over land with our weapons in hand. Commanding General Johanna, raising messengers, man. Nothing ordinary, extraordinary, ain't a compliment. The white man's breathing on a black man's oxygen. Without the UPK, we still believe in false doctrine. I'm in the furnace, Johnny Cochran, and the brother Vic. This is pissing off Romulus. The white man's the devil, America's a cockpit. Blaming homosexuals, Israel better stop quick. Christ is coming with 200 million black men lock him. Blood to the bright on flying saucers, I'm with my eye. It's that UPK anthem. We ain't out here on the streets like a phantom. We be up on these corners like goddamn them. We be dropping these verses real exquisite. Nothing random, everyone is a hitter. That's why we land them. Hey, this that UPK anthem. We ain't out here on the streets like a phantom. We be up on these corners like goddamn them. We be dropping these verses real exquisite. Nothing random, everyone is a hitter. That's why we land them. Hey, this that UPK anthem. We ain't out here on the streets like a phantom. We be up on these corners like goddamn them. We be dropping these verses real exquisite. Nothing random, everyone is a hit.
Shalom Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969, and what is that truth? The truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the true Jews of the Bible, and the white man is the devil that Salakia. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group, Christian organization, or Muslim mosque. We stand alone. It is not of the ISUPK. It is not of the truth. Today's topic, we're going to be getting on Martin Luther King. I know Martin Luther King is gone, but now we have this John Lewis Act. John Lewis Act is supposed to help brothers and sisters to be able to vote and vote properly. But as we know, and we know in the UPK, we do not vote because voting does not help. You understand what I'm saying? Brothers and sisters have been voting since the 60s, and we are still fighting the same fight, even after all of the voting, even after getting all of those oppressive presidents in. You understand? We are still the oppressed. We are still on the bottom. You understand? We keep trusting in a people who hate us. We keep trusting in our oppressor. The scriptures tell us, trust not thine enemy. But we understand, we know who our enemy is, and we continue to trust in them. What I want to do now, I want to get into civil rights movement. You understand? And the civil rights movement has been going on for forever. It's actually, civil rights actually started in the late 1800s. You understand? It wasn't until the 1960s that that they tried to pick up their feet and act like they wanted to do something for black people. It was in 1964 that the Civil Rights Act was passed. The Civil Rights Act did nothing for black people. You understand? The Civil Rights Act did nothing for the people it was supposed to help. The Civil Rights Act helped every other nationality of people to come into this country except for the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. The people who built this country, the people who this country blood, sweat, and tears were built on. You understand what I'm saying? You understand? So the first thing I want to say, let's get into, I got an article here. We're going to read up on this Civil Rights Act. I want to read this article. Okay? Let's see here. It says the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which ended segregation in public places and banned employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, is considered one of the crowning legislative achievements of the civil rights movement. Think about this, right? They're saying one of the crowning, look at the words that they use in the crowning legislative achievements. And it was a crowning legislative achievement. You know why it was a crowning legislative achievement? It was a crowning legislative achievement because it made us think that we were getting ahead when in actuality we were not. I want you to think about something. 6 white men went into a room a couple of months ago and changed the laws in, what was that, Texas or Georgia? It was Georgia, right? Changed the laws, changed the voting rights laws in Georgia. They went into it and did just like that and changed the voting laws. And now that was Republicans, and now the Democrats said that it's nothing that they can do. You understand? The president is what do they say? The president is asking them. You understand? The president is asking them to refrain from those laws. You understand? So where is the civil rights for us? We have no civil rights. You understand what I'm saying? They have to make civil rights, you only make civil rights acts and bills, and you make these things for people who don't have rights. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing is think about an act. An act is just what it's called. It's called an act. You understand? They're making you think it's real. Just like when you're looking at a movie is an act. You understand what I'm saying? A movie is an act. It's not real. It looks real because it's on the screen. Everything that you see in that movie is nothing but an act. And these bills, these civil rights acts and bills, are just what they are called. An act is an act. An act is not real. What is a bill? A bill is something you give somebody because they owe you and they are supposed to pay you. This is a civil rights bill. They took the bill, but they didn't pay the bill. You understand? These civil rights bills and acts are only things that they write up that they don't have to act on. They don't have to respect it, and it shows. You understand? It says For proposed by President John F. Kennedy, it survived strong opposition from Southern members of Congress. It survived strong opposition from Southern members of Congress because at the time that it was written, they didn't understand it. You understand? Now they understand it, and they know that they can use all those civil rights bills and acts in their favor, and they can change them at will, just like they did in Georgia, and if I'm not mistaken, 19 other states. You understand what I'm saying? So what does the civil rights movement do for us? What did Martin Luther King's civil rights movement and march do for black people? It did nothing for black people. We are still in the place that we were in when we came up out of slavery. We are still the slaves of this country. You understand? And only a slave has to have a civil rights bill or act written up for them to get rights. You understand? It says, it survived strong opposition from Southern members of Congress and was then signed into law by Kennedy's successor, Lyndon B. Johnson. In subsequent years, Congress expanded the act and passed additional civil rights legislation such as the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Voting Rights Act, which they just changed the voting rights in Georgia and 19 other states. You understand? Just like that. And there's nothing that black people can do about it. Everybody's crying for help. You understand? Can we get Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17?
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help, and our watching we had watched for a nation that could not save us.
Read that one more time.
As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help, and our watching we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
And that's the problem with us. You understand? We have vain help. The people that we look towards to help us are not out to help us. You understand? In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not help us, or could not save us. We looking for the very people who had us in slavery, the very people who have a perpetual hatred for us, the very people who intend to dry us up and suck us out of every drop of blood that we have. We look for these very people to save us. How can you look for a wolf to save a sheep? You understand? How can you look for the lion to save the lamb? You understand? This is impossible. This is in their nature to do exactly what they do. You understand? These people are not smart at all. You understand? But because we don't follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, we continually fall into the traps and snares of our oppressor. We will continually fall into the traps and snares of our oppressor as long as we look to our oppressor for salvation. You understand? As long as we look to our oppressor to be saved. You understand? And this is exactly what we do. All of this marching. Who is the marching supposed to impress? Who is the marching supposed to touch? The marching is supposed to touch our oppressor. So we've been marching since the 1960s, and what has marching gotten us? Marching has gotten us nothing. You understand? Martin Luther King has totally destroyed our people with the civil rights movement. You understand? Our people are totally destroyed. So much so that our oppressor has given a national holiday to Martin Luther King, thanking him for continually keeping the slaves in line. You understand? I'm not saying for us to go out there, we're supposed to start riots and things like that. We're not supposed to go out there and shoot and kill people, you understand, or take over any kind of government and things like that. But when you look at other nations who are being deprived of rights and things like that, you see them standing up fighting. You see them stand against their oppressor. We are the only nation of people that stand with our oppressor to continually be oppressed. Our leaders stand with our oppressor. We have the weakest leaders that is known to man. You understand? Our weak leaders are weak. You understand? Our leaders are weak. They give us no help. Our leaders look for their own gain. They sell us to our oppressor for their own gain. I mean, look at us. Look at the condition that we're in today. You understand? Look at the ghettos. You understand? Look at the poverty. You understand? We are said to be number one in social service and welfare and things like that, which we know that's not true. But look at us. We should not be on any of those things. You understand? We should be helping our own people. But the Civil Rights Act made us give up everything that we had. We had all of the stores we needed. We had our own school system. We had our own communities. You understand? We had the land. We owned the land of our own communities. You understand? But the Civil Rights Act made us give them up because we wanted to live amongst our oppressor. We wanted to be hand in hand with our oppressor, thanks to Martin Luther King. You understand? I want to step back and I want to touch on another part of this Civil Rights Act. And it says in here, following the Civil War, a trio of constitutional amendments abolished slavery, right? And then they say the 13th Amendment made the formerly enslaved people citizens, which it did not. The 14th Amendment and gave all men the right to vote regardless of race. If we had the right to vote regardless of race, they wouldn't have went in Georgia and changed the voting rights just like that, causing a lot of people not being able to vote. You understand? These are the things that we do because we want to follow our oppressor. We want to be under our oppressor. You understand? Our oppressor has never had or never meant for anything good to come from us. You understand what I'm saying? They have never meant anything good for us. And we can go through different laws that have been created to hold us back. You understand? And then one of those laws was called the Doctrine of Exclusion. The Doctrine of Exclusion clearly states that no slave, descendant of a slave, or black person should enjoy the fruits of white society. You understand what I'm saying? It says we shall not enjoy the fruits of white society. That meant the slaves or their descendants, and we are the descendants of slaves. They created this law so that we would always be on the bottom. Regardless of the civil rights movement, regardless of civil rights acts, regardless of civil rights bills. The laws that they created were created to keep us a permanent underclass, a permanent underclass of people. You understand?
Second-class citizen.
A permanent second-class citizen. Thank you, sir. A permanent second-class citizen, which is what we remain today. Think about it. Every nation of people that comes over here into America automatically steps right over us as soon as they hit the border. Every nation, you understand? That goes from the Arabs to the Afghanis. Think about the Afghans that's coming over here. They were just warned with the Afghans. And now they're bringing about 200,000 of them over here. And if I'm not mistaken, in Chicago, they're removing black people from their public housing in Chicago to move the Afghans in. What is that? You understand? We're a second-class citizen. Now the Afghans got to step up on us. You understand what I'm saying? These are the people that we look to give us civil rights. How can a beast give you civil rights? How can a beast give you life? A beast is set to destroy, kill, crush, and destroy. And we look towards these people to save us. You understand? I want to get, what's that, Jeremiah 14:2?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the crowd of Jerusalem is gone up.
It says the crowd of Jerusalem has gone up. Let's read that again. We're going to break that down.
Jeremiah 14 and verse 2, Judah mourneth.
It says Judah mourneth. Who is Judah? Judah is the so-called Negro in America. You understand? Well, we are mostly in America. The tribe of Judah is mostly in America. It says Judah mourneth. You understand? Let me ask a question. Who is Judah? Just like you said, it's the so-called blacks in America. We mourning. You understand? We mourning because of the position that we in. You understand? The state of utter poverty that we in. Look at our people. You understand? We are drug stricken. You understand? We are, just like we said before, we living in these ghettos in a terrible state. You understand? Judah mourneth. Go ahead.
And the gates thereof languish.
And the gates thereof languish. Let's ask ourselves, what is a gate? What does a gate do? A gate keeps things in, or a gate keeps things out. A gate protects. You understand? It says the gates thereof languish. What does it mean to languish? You understand? It means to languish mean to be unuseful, to be broken, to be destroyed. You understand? It says the gates thereof languish. Our gates. Who are our gates? Our gates are our politicians, our leaders. You understand? These preachers and pastors supposed to be our leaders. You understand? It says they are languished. They are destroyed. They are broken. You understand? They are useless. You understand? They sell us to our oppressor. You understand? Our leaders have no love for us. Our leaders only think of themselves. You understand? Our leaders only think of themselves. We have to get leaders who think of us as a people, as a nation of people. And the only place you can find those leaders is here in the ISUPK, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under Commanding General Yahweh.
Right.
He is the leader of black people today.
Damn right.
He is the leader of the 12 tribes of Israel today.
Mm-hmm.
It says the gates thereof languish. Go ahead.
They are black unto the ground.
They are black unto the ground. Listen, when it says they are black unto the ground, when you dig into the ground, when you dig into that ground comes up in many different shades of brown. You understand? They are black into the ground. I mean, we come in many different shades. If you look at the 12 tribes, we come in all flavors. You understand? So there is no need to go to another nation to look for anything, because we have all the flavors and everything we need right here in our tribe. Go ahead.
And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. The Most High is hearing our cries. You understand? And he is going to destroy our oppressor. But the only way he's going to destroy our oppressor is if we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? In the what's that? The book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 verse 2. It tells us that we are not to be deceived by any means. You understand? Mm-hmm. So that you say something, sir?
No, you could go.
Oh, okay. It says that we are not to be deceived by any means, and we got to come up out of these customs and culture of America. Basically, you understand? I'm speaking, in general. We got to come up out of these customs and culture of America. This is the thing that's destroying us. And because we fall into the customs and culture of America, because we looking for civil rights from our oppressor, this is the reason why we being destroyed. This is the reason why we being deceived. This is the reason why we keep falling for the same voting, and every year we think we're going to vote for somebody who's going to change the laws, who's going to give us what we need. You understand? This is the reason why we are a destroyed people, because we're too trusting. The problem is we should be trusting in our own people and not our oppressor. We should be trusting our own people and not the heathen nations. We trust in every nation on the face of this earth but our own people. No other nation on the face of this earth trusts another nation. Every nation on the face of this earth trusts in their own people. You understand? Except for us, the 12 tribes of Israel. Why is that? You understand? Because we are a destroyed people. We are cursed. You understand? The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 tells us that. When you start at that 15th verse, it tells you the curses that will come upon us. You understand? We're going to get into that, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. You understand? But we got to stop falling for the traps and the snares of our oppressor. Our oppressor is only set here to destroy us. You understand? Let's get into this article a little bit more. It says, nonetheless, many states, particularly in the South, use poll taxes, literacy tests, and other measures to keep their African American citizens essentially disenfranchised. And this is what was happening to us when we was trying to get those civil rights, when we was trying to get those voting rights acts in the early years, when we was trying to get the right to vote in the early years. Then Martin Luther King came along with the Civil Rights Act. You understand? The Civil Rights Act did nothing for our people. You understand? They're supposed to have a march on Washington too. You understand that Martin Luther King originally had nothing to do with it. You understand? But once John F. Kennedy got whiff of the March on Washington, which it was supposed to be a march on the White House and a march on the Capitol, once John F. Kennedy got whiff of that, he placed Martin Luther King, who was it? Martin Luther King, James Farmer. Oh, we got that. Well, let me see. Martin Luther King, James Farmer, John Lewis, A. Philip Randolph, what's the other brother? Oh, here we go, right here. Whitney Young and Roy Wilkins. He placed them at the head of the march on the White House and the march on the Capitol, and got them to change it to the March on Washington, so that they would be marching to the Lincoln Memorial. What's that? The Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Memorial, or something like that. You understand? Nowhere near the White House or the Capitol. You understand what I'm saying? He put them in charge, and then he actually, and this is the problem with us. This is the reason why it says our gates languish. You understand? Because our leaders, they sell us to our oppressor for a few silver coins. You understand? Martin Luther King, A. Philip Randolph, John Lewis, who just died a few months ago. You understand? And they gave him a big send-off. You understand? And remember this. Whenever our oppressor gives any of our people a big send-off, that means that person was working with our oppressor to continually keep us oppressed. Never forget that. You understand what I'm saying? But that march on Washington that they had, they got $1.5 million for that march on Washington. That march on Washington, they got half of it before the march. And John F. Kennedy told them if everything went well, they would get the other half. And guess what? They got the other half because everything went well. You understand? Our gates thereof languish. You understand? Our people are destroyed because we have weak leaders. We have weak leadership. You understand? Our people, we can't recognize strength in leadership when we see it because we have been so blinded by America and its customs and culture. You understand? Everything in America we think is great. You understand? Yeah, what is America? America is, what's that? Babylon, right? Babylon. It's also what? Spiritually Egypt. You understand?
Babylon.
Think about the things that went on in Babylon, Sodom and Gomorrah. Think about it. Spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah, spiritually Babylon, spiritually Egypt. Think about the things that went on. We were enslaved in Egypt, right? We are enslaved in America. You understand? Babylon's, and so we were one big melting pot in Babylon. We are one big melting pot here, right? In Sodom and Gomorrah. Think about what went on in Sodom and Gomorrah, and think about what's going on in America right now. Man can marry man here now. Woman can marry woman here now, and if I'm not mistaken, they have almost got laws where you can marry an animal or anything that you wish to marry. We are destroyed people.
Let's get that scripture.
Go ahead, grab that for me. Which one is that?
It's in Revelations 11 and 8. Let me get it for you, so they know what we're talking about.
Come on, sir.
The book of Revelations, chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
Listen, our bodies lie dead in the streets right now. You understand? Our bodies lie dead in the street right now, which is spiritually Egypt and Sodom. We are prisoners in America. You understand? They trying to make us think about it. Every time you see a TV show now, how many homosexuals do you see on the TV show? Every commercial you see TV show. Then the thing about it is, and this is what really pisses me off, is that every time they showing homosexuals, it's always got to be a black couple. We know our oppressor has always been a homosexual. You understand? Our oppressor has always been a homosexual. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city. Our bodies lie all over the street. We being shot, murdered, and killed every day. You understand? Whether it be by our oppressor or at our own hand because of the condition that our oppressor placed us in. You understand? I'm not saying that us murdering us is right, but the condition that we put in causes us to do the horrible things that we do. You understand? Our oppressor has placed us in a position where we can do his dirty work for him. And this is what we do, because we have been caught up in the customs and culture of Sodom. We have been caught up in the customs and culture of Egypt. We are totally caught up in Babylon. You understand? These are the things. You got something, sir?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you was going to say something. Yeah, but these are the things that we gotta get past. You understand? As a nation, listen. When the Most High judges us, He doesn't judge us individually. We are judged as a nation. You understand? And this is the reason why we get out there on these corners on Saturday and we speak in those streets, because we trying to get our people to come back. We know everybody not gonna come back, but we try to get a lot of our people to come back so we can get the Most High to allow Christ to come back and destroy our oppressor.
Hit that last piece.
Go ahead, hit that last piece.
Where also our Lord was crucified. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take that last piece. That's a crucial piece right there. Where our Lord was crucified. We know that our Lord was crucified in the Middle East,
right,
physically. They crucify our Lord right here in spiritual Babylon and spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt by making him a white man.
Exactly.
By making him a white man that loved everybody. They crucified him just like they crucified Freddie Gray. Just like they broke his neck and then said he was a criminal and he had a knife. And he wasn't worth nothing. He wasn't worth saving.
Right.
He had lead poisoning, which led him to constantly get arrested and be in the vicinity of the police. They crucified him again.
Right.
Murdered him and then crucified him again. Just like they did Christ.
Right.
Just like they did, who was the young brother that
Brown.
That they followed him and murdered him?
You talking about Trayvon?
Trayvon Martin. followed him and murdered him with some Skittles in his pocket, man. They said because he was suspended from school.
Right.
He was suspended from school, so that was a reason, and it was okay to murder him. They crucified him again after murdering him.
Right.
Remember, Christ said, everything that they've done, they done to me first.
Right.
They crucified Christ by saying he's a white man that loves everybody. That he's this magic white man that, comes down your chimney, gives you gifts, spun all of that.
Right.
You understand? That heals everything, that loves everybody regardless of what you do. He loved homosexuals, he loved the mafia, he loved everybody will tell you Christ loved them.
Right.
They had an experience in Christ. I had a blazing, transformed, what's the right word to say?
Transformation.
A person in transformation.
Right.
I don't know why.
Transformation.
A gay person in transformation said, God loves me.
Right.
And I didn't gain the strength to come out and say,
right,
to come out of the closet until I felt the spirit and the anointing of God. That's crucifying our Lord, man.
Yeah,
that's crucifying our Lord. The Lord said that type of sexual deviancy is worthy of death.
Right.
My God. You crucified him and his word and his spirit so goddamn bad that you say he would not only agree with you, but he loved you in your filth.
Right. Right.
The Lord gave you up to sexual deviancy. And that's what I told him. The Lord gave you up to that filth. He didn't love you. He gave you up to it.
Right.
That's why you able to come out in the open with it, because he gave you up, allowing you to die from it. Now I'm hate-filled.
Right.
Look, man, stop crucifying the Lord in the Word of God, because that's what America does. It crucifies Christ, just like they barbarously murdered him. The Romans murdered him in the Middle East. They murdered him time and time and again by saying he loves every goddamn body, and he's a white man, and he's soft, and he's feminine.
Exactly.
So like,
you brought that right back to my memory right there. You crucify Christ every day. You understand? Especially when they killing the brothers on the street.
Every day.
It's okay.
Every day.
It was okay. He was a criminal anyway. You understand? That's what they said about Christ. He was a criminal.
Yep.
You understand? Christ was coming back to save his people. It tells us that in the Bible. You understand? But what did they say? Christ loves everybody. Christ said he came back to save his people. You understand? They crucify Christ every day. You understand? But this is the things that our people don't understand. This is the things that our people don't know. Christ came back to save us, not every other nation, not these heathen nations. You understand? As a matter of fact, we can grab Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High. I will also forget thy children.
You understand? It says, my people are destroyed. We are destroyed people. We are destroyed people because we don't trust in the Most High. We trust in our oppressor. We trust in civil rights. You understand? We trust in equal rights. You understand? Think about it, right? They always tell us color doesn't matter. You understand? Race doesn't matter. But when you go fill out an application, race is on there, right? Color is on there, right? Everything that they say doesn't matter is always in a place to continually hold us back and destroy us. When we go to certain places to live, color matters. When they see our black faces, when they see our colored faces, they make sure we don't get in because of that. You understand? Color matters. They make us think color doesn't matter. We run around and we say color doesn't matter. You understand? Our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You understand? The Bible tells us that color matters. Color matters to the Most High. You understand? We don't understand that our oppressor, just like the priest officer said, you understand? They destroy Christ every day by telling us that Christ is white, that the apostles are white. You understand? They crucify him every day. You understand? And then they tell us that color doesn't matter, when the Bible tells us just the opposite. Color does matter. You understand? We are destroyed people for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. How do we reject knowledge? We reject the truths in this Bible. That's how you reject knowledge. We reject the truths in this Bible. You understand? The Bible tells us that mankind shall not sleep with mankind, but we trust in the laws of the oppressor and said it's okay. It's okay to be gay. That's the new slogan. It's okay to be gay. We reject knowledge when we say that. It's okay to be gay. It's okay for mankind to sleep with mankind, when the Bible tells us just the opposite. We are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. The Most High will reject us. That's why we in the conditions that we in. We choose to follow our oppressor and not the Most High. You understand? When we reject knowledge, the Most High will reject us. How does the Most High reject us? He throws those curses on us. You understand? He gives us high blood pressure. You understand? High cholesterol. He has us controlled by our oppressor and has us living in the ghettos. He has us paying high interest rates on everything to keep us in bondage, to keep us broke. You understand? These are the curses that are come upon us. We don't understand though. We think that our oppressor is in some kind of way is going to get a new heart. He's going to get a new beginning, and he's going to change his ways and his thoughts about us. But the Most High says, consider the works of God. Who can make that straight which I have made crooked? The Most High made our oppressor just what he is. You understand? And just the way he is just the way the Most High made him. We can't change anything about our oppressor. We are destroyed because of a lack of knowledge. When we reject the Most High will reject us. And we shall be no priest. You understand? Saying thou hast forgotten the laws of God, he will also forget thy children. Our children have been forgotten too. Our children are filling up the prison houses too. Our children are being murdered and laid out in the streets too. You understand? Because we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You understand? We got to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments. We got to come back to a better understanding. And the better understanding can only be found in this Bible. You understand? We got to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. We got to let that civil rights thing go. We got to let that Martin Luther King way of thinking go. This is the things that destroy us. And Martin Luther King wanted to join hand in hand. Little black boys and little white girls can go hand in hand. That was Martin Luther King's dream. That was not a dream of the Most High. The Most High said he separated the nations. If he separated the nations, why would he separate the nations if he wanted everybody to be together? If he wanted everybody to be together, he would have just made one nation and that's it. Why make a whole lot of different nations and then want them to come together? You make different nations, and he separated the nations unto their own land. You understand? We were supposed to be separated. We are not to be together. We were not supposed to be together. We were not meant to be together. What does the Most High say? He said we are a holy people. What does holy mean? Holy means to be separate. You understand what I'm saying? Holy means to be separate. And he says we are a holy people unto himself. We are a holy people unto the Most High. We are his special people. But we don't show ourselves as being a special people when we want to follow behind our oppressor, when we want to do the things of the oppressor, when we want to reject the knowledge of the Most High and accept the knowledge of our oppressor. You understand? You got anything on that, sir? Okay. All right. I wanna touch back on that. I left up out of there. I want to touch back on that article again. Gotta get back to it. Okay, here we go. Highlight.
Give me the article.
So, you know what, sir? You want to take the article? Legal highlights of the civil rights.
Who is it at?
U.S. Department of Labor.
You want to send me the link? Text it to me.
Nah, I do all that. Man, see, this is what I be.
Highlight the text.
Highlight the
Copy it and paste it. I can bring it right up on my phone.
All right, I'm highlighting and text it to you.
There you go. Technology, my brother.
Right. You know I ain't used to that. That's your thing, man.
It's all our thing.
I'm an old school dude.
It's life.
Yeah, but that's your life, though. You do that. Yeah, you
My
do
life,
that. That's what you do.
Only my life.
That's your profession. Yeah, I'm sending it to you now.
Yeah.
Hey, look, and that's the first time I did that. Yeah, but we reject the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? And we want to accept the laws of our oppressor, knowing that the laws of our oppressor is wrong. You understand? We not supposed to. What's the slogan? Pork is the new white meat. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that goes against what the Most High say, we accept. We accept. I mean, think about it. We eat the most. Listen, our oppressor eats way more pork than us, but we suffer from high cholesterol, diabetes, and all of these things more than our oppressor. Why is that? Because we are cursed people. We are cursed people because we refuse to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. We refuse to follow what the Most High told us to do. You understand? These curses befell us because we refuse to listen to the Most High. You know? So,
whenever you're ready.
We got to come back. Go ahead.
Legal highlights. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. In the 1960s, Americans who knew only the potential of equal protection of the laws expected the President, the Congress, and the courts to fulfill the promise of the 14th Amendment.
You see that right there? Right there, that's it right there. We expected a nation to save us that hates us. How do you look to a nation? That's Lamentations 4:17 right there. You understand? We read it already, but in watching for a nation, it says, in our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. You understand? We expecting these people to give us the rights that we rightfully deserve, instead of following the law, statutes, and commandments, instead of separating ourselves from these people, instead of doing business with our own people, instead of raising our own nation up, we continually raise another nation up. We continually fight and die for a nation that perpetually hates us. You understand? It says that right there in the expected the President, the Congress, and the courts to fulfill the promise of the 14th Amendment. Yeah, right. All right, go ahead. In response.
And the courts to fulfill the promise of the 14th Amendment. In response, all these branches of the federal government, as well as the public at large, debated a fundamental constitutional question. Does the Constitution's prohibition of denying equal protection always ban the use of racial, ethnic, or gender criteria in an attempt to bring social justice and social benefits?
It says, as well as the public at large. Listen, it says all three branches of the federal government, as well as the public at large, debated a fundamental constitution. Does the Constitution prohibit? Does the Constitution's prohibition of denying equal protection always ban the use of racial, ethnic, or gender criteria? No, it doesn't. We always get the short end of the stick. You know, racial inequality is part of the Constitution. The Constitution was written for our oppressor and no one else. Think about it. In the first, what's that? Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution, it states that we are 3/5 of a person. Think about it. 3/5 of a person. Ain't talking about the so-called Negro. You understand? You 3/5 of a person. You slave. You understand what I'm saying? You have no equal rights. The Constitution prohibits you from having any rights. The rights of the Constitution were never meant for us, but we still fighting for something that was written. It was written when we were slaves. We were only farm equipment. That's basically what we were constituted or relegated to, farm equipment. And we still fighting for the same rights to this day. That amendment was written when? In 1776? 1776 and 1776, 1876, 1976. It's going to be 300 years and you're still going to be fighting for the same thing. After the first 10 or 15 years, wouldn't you think that you should say, well, you know what? Maybe this is not for us. No, we not. We don't think about that. Then here comes old Martin Luther King. You understand what I'm saying? With his civil rights marching. Brothers and sisters been marching for damn near 100 years and still have not moved out of the place that they were in when they first started marching. You understand? We are a destroyed people for a lack of knowledge. We have no understanding of this beast that we live under. You understand? The only way you can get that knowledge is coming up here into this truth. Coming up in here into this ISUPK Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. This is where the knowledge lies at. You understand? You can't get this from any Christian organization or church. You understand? The Christian church does not know how to break scripture. They do not understand scripture. This is the only place where you can get a good understanding of scripture. You understand? And our people need to get back into the real truth. You understand? Millions of our brothers and sisters have been deceived by the Christian church. You understand? Martin Luther King has totally destroyed us. And I want to get that scripture, Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 25.
Salaki,
we're going to go through that.
Second. You want to keep on with this?
Oh, go. Yeah, Salaki, I forgot about. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to try to get it up on the screen. The brothers and sisters. Salaki, one second.
But you know, we got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. And listen, like I said, you had 6 brothers who got together. They had nothing to do with the civil rights movement at hand. It was Martin Luther King, James Farmer, John Lewis, A. Philip Randolph, Roy Wilkins, and Whitney Young. You understand? All of them prospered while our people were continually grounded into powder. They got $1.5 million after the march was over. You understand what I'm saying? And nothing became of the march. Brothers and sisters still fighting for civil rights today. You understand? We gotta come back. You understand? And then go ahead.
I got it. I'm gonna put it on the screen.
Okay. You gotta read that book by Ralph Abernathy. Remember Ralph Abernathy was Martin Luther King, one of Martin Luther King's closest friends. And this book right here had a lot of controversy, and the book is called "And the Walls Came Tumbling Down." You gotta read that book, you understand? It's an autobiography, and he gives an inside look at the true thoughts and words of Martin Luther King. That's a book that every brother and sister needs to read. I'm not saying that it's a biblical book or anything like that, but it gives you a better insight of Martin Luther King's true thoughts and ideas. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we finishing up the legal highlight, the Civil Rights Act of 1964. In June 1963, President John Kennedy asked Congress for a comprehensive civil rights bill. Induced by massive resistance to desegregation and the murder of Medgar Evers. After Kennedy's assassination in November, President Lyndon Johnson pressed hard with the support of Roy Wilkins and Clarence Mitchell to secure the bill's passage the following year.
Remember that name right there, Roy Wilkins. Remember, Roy Wilkins was one of the big six. And like I said, Roy Wilkins wanted to get that bill passed because he knew that bill would not help black people. Not only would it not help black people, but it would continually help our oppressors keep his power, continue his power over us, his reign over us. Go ahead.
In 1964, Congress passed Public Law 88352, 78 Stat 241. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin.
Oh, right there, right now. This says the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Now, when you go in and you fill out an application, each one of those categories is on the application. If it prohibits that, why is it placed on applications when you go in to fill out an application? When you go fill out a loan, that same thing is on a loan. When you go fill out credit, that same thing is on credit. If this is to prohibit discrimination on the basis of race and all of those other categories, everything major that you fill out, these things are on. Why is it on? Because none of this stuff helps us. All of this stuff sounds good to the ear, but it's tough on the stomach. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Provisions of this Civil Rights Act forbid discrimination on the basis of race, sex, as well as race in hiring, promoting, and firing. The Act prohibited discrimination in public accommodations and federally funded programs. It also strengthened the enforcement of voting rights and the desegregation of schools.
It says it enforced voting rights. And just like we just was talking about not too long ago, how Georgia came in and just with a flick of the pen changed their voting laws. You understand what I'm saying? And they did it in 19 other states too. You understand? So we get caught up in our oppressor instead of getting caught up in the Most High. You understand? Go ahead.
Let me switch back. All right. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 is the nation's benchmark civil rights legislation, and it continues to resonate in America. Passage of the act ended the application of Jim Crow laws, which had been upheld by the Supreme Court in the 1896 case Plisley versus Ferguson. in which the court held that racial segregation purported to be separate but equal was constitutional. The Civil Rights Act was eventually expanded by Congress to strengthen enforcement of these fundamental civil rights.
Let me ask you a question, right? It says, in which the court held that racial segregation purported to be separate but equal was constitutional. When have we been separate but equal to our oppressor? See, every one of these words, this is a word play that they do on us. And they like to pass things like this and make it seem like we separate but equal. We have never been separate and equal to our oppressor. We have always been separate and under our oppressor. Our oppressor has always been over us. There is no such thing as separate but equal. You understand? That's just what do they call it? A smoke screen. It's a smoke screen to make you think we separate but equal. You understand? We have never been separate but equal. If that be the case, let me ask a question. Where all the white ghettos at? Where the Chinese ghettos at? Where the Arab ghettos at in America? You understand? There are only black ghettos in America. Why is that? Because there is no such thing as separate but equal. Civil rights has never helped our people. We have always been destroyed by civil rights. There is no such thing as civil rights. Whenever you need civil rights, that means you are not a citizen. Our people should stop looking at us as being citizens of the United States. You understand? We need to understand that we are the nation of Israel. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the true Jews of the Bible. You understand? And that's what's hard for our people to understand. It's hard for our people to understand that because when we look at the so-called Jewish man, we think that's what the Jew looks like. No, the Jew looks like you. You are the Jew. They have given us a cloudy mind. They have clouded our brains and made us think everything negative about ourselves. We hate our black skin. We hate our culture. We hate everything that we do. You understand? Everything was stolen from us, and then they twisted everything and made it an abomination. You understand? Well, we got to come back and we got to understand that we are the true Jews of the Bible. You understand? The true Jews of the Bible are the mathematicians. The true Jews of the Bible are the athletes. The true Jews of the Bible are the builders. We are the artisans. We are the skilled workers in America. That's the true Jews. You understand? We shouldn't be fighting for civil rights. You understand? All we have to do is separate ourselves. How do we separate ourselves? We come out of those customs and culture. We stop celebrating Christmas. We stop celebrating Thanksgiving. We stop celebrating all of these heathen customs and cultures. We come back. We start celebrating Hanukkah. We start celebrating the Feast of Purim. We start celebrating the Passover. We start celebrating our own customs and culture. We got to come back to us. We got to come back to being us. You understand? That's how we become a great nation. That's how we get on top. You understand? That's how we get on top. The scriptures say, he that leadeth into captivity must go into captivity. The only way we send our oppressor back into captivity is coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments. We are the true Jews of the Bible. You understand? Our oppressor made being a Jew, he made it an abomination. He made it look horrible. You understand? Think about it. Everything that we do, we make look good. You understand? We are the true Jew. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you are looking at the true Jew of the Bible, the so-called 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. You understand? When you look at yourself, you're looking at a true Jew. That's what we're supposed to be. We got to come back to being who we are, who the Most High created us to be. He created us to be separate. You understand? That's what it is to be holy. To be holy is to be separate. That's what we got to come back to. If we finish on that article?
Yeah.
All right, I want to touch on this. Like I said, I was talking about that Ralph Abernathy book, As the Walls Come Tumbling Down. It's a great book. You got to read that book. I only read a little bit of it, but that's a good book. You got to get into that. And it says right here, right? It says 2 months before the march, the Big Six broadened their organizing coalition by bringing on board 4 white men who supported their efforts. And this is what destroys us the most. Every time we start an organization, we always got to place the oppressor over top of us. Oppressor always has to lead us. You understand? We can never lead ourselves. It's always an oppressor over us leading us. You understand? School board is always an oppressor over top of us. You understand? At the businesses, it's always an oppressor over top of us. This is the reason why Martin Luther King destroyed us, because he gave all of our businesses away. Giving all of our businesses away, now we have to work under our oppressor. You understand? It says 2 months before the march, the Big Six, which was, like I said, Martin Luther King, James Farmer, John Lewis, A. Philip Randolph, Roy Wilkins, and Whitney Young, right? 2 months before the march, the Big Six broadened their coalition by bringing on board 4 white men who supported their efforts. First white man was Walter Reuther, president of the United Automobile Workers. You understand? The second one was Eugene Carson Blake, former president of the National Council of Churches. Understand that. National Council of Churches. That means these people are over the Christian church. So you sitting in a black Christian church, you think you doing a black thing when you actually, in actuality, you doing a white thing. You understand? You doing an oppressor thing. You understand? Matthew Amon, executive director of the National Catholic Conference for Interracial Justice. Now these are oppressors. You understand? And then the last one, Joachim Prince, president of the American Jewish Congress. How about that? You understand? So when they talked about, and every once in a while they talked about the Big Four, A. Philip Randolph thought that they were talking about, or was that James Farmer, thought that they were talking about him, Martin Luther King, A. Philip Randolph, and Roy Wilkins. You understand? Leaving out John Lewis and Whitney Young because they were short. When in actuality, they were not calling you the Big Four. They were calling the 4 oppressors over top of you the Big Four, because they were truly the Big Four. They ran the organization, just like in Black Lives Matter. There's an oppressor at the top of Black Lives Matter. And all of these organizations that get funded by the oppressor, all of these black organizations that get funded by the oppressor, an oppressor is over them. So that does not make it a black organization. That makes it an oppressor's organization. This is the only organization that you can come into where it's black from top to bottom, so-called black, Hispanic, and Native from top to bottom. You understand? The so-called, I didn't mean to say the so-called, but the ISUPK, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. This is where true leadership is found. You understand? This is where true leadership is found. You understand? Martin Luther King knew nothing about true leadership. You understand? I want to get that scripture, Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 25.
Yeah. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 35.
25.
So like, The book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 25. I have heard what the prophets say, that prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed, I have dreamed.
You hear that? I have dreamed, I have dreamed. What does that sound familiar? Listen, this book prophesying liars before the liars were even on the face of the earth. You understand? It says, I have heard what the prophets said, that prophesy lies in my name. Listen, these Christian preachers and pastors are doing nothing but prophesying lies in the Most High's name. You understand? I have dreams, I have dreams. Of course, they having dreams, they having their own dreams. You understand? They're not dreaming anything that the Most High gave to them, but they're giving you their own thoughts and opinions.
Dreams of sex and white women.
Exactly. Dreams of sex and white women. Exactly. I have dreamed, and that's what he was dreaming about. He was dreaming where he was having a dream about where he could have sex with a white woman out in the open, where he could walk down the street holding hand in hand with a white woman, a little black boy and a little white girl. You understand? Go ahead.
How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies?
How long shall it be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? It's going to be in the hearts of the prophets that prophesy lies until our people come up out of this trance of following these prophets that prophesy lies. Go ahead.
Yea, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart.
If they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart. Look at T.D. Jakes. You understand? Who's that? Creflo Dollar. You understand? What's the other one? Joel Osteen. Look at these prophets that prophesy lies in the Most High's name. They living off the. Listen, they prophesying they prophesying
The deceit of their own
the deceit of their own hearts.
Their lust.
Their lust. You understand? A $65 million jet for Creflo Dollar. You understand what I'm saying? Just imagine what what this nation could do with $65 million. He got $65 million just for a plane. You understand what I'm saying? And he had the people pay for it. You understand? These are the lusts of their own hearts. You understand? They got congregations in all that look like stadiums. You understand? And do nothing for the people. When that flood hit down there in Dallas and all of that, or in Houston and all of that, what did they do for the people? They did nothing for the people. They didn't even open their doors. T.D. Jakes and Joel Osteen didn't even open the doors. Not to mention the brother that's from here, the brother that's from here, from off of Poplar Grove and Emerson.
What's his begin with a J?
Tony Evans. No, Tony Evans. You don't know about Tony Evans. He in Dallas. Yeah. He got a mega.
It was Jamal, so.
You talking about Jamal Bryant?
Jamal Bryant.
Yeah, Jamal Bryant, but he took over Eddie Long Church. You know, the one that was sexually doing the boys down there.
Yeah.
He got Eddie Long Church. But Tony Evans from Poplar Grove and Emerson. Yeah, he in Dallas now got a mega church in Dallas.
Yeah.
You understand? Doing prophesying the same lies. You understand what I'm saying? They making a killing. You understand? Destroying our people. You understand? And they do nothing for our people. You understand? They say they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart. You understand? They're going to tell you just what they wanted. That's just what you want to hear, so that they can get the gains that they have in their own hearts, so that they can get the big houses and the luxury cars. You understand? The millions of dollars in their own pockets. And what's this? That America allows them to keep our people oppressed. You understand? Knowing that they prophesying lies. Go ahead.
That's crazy. You want to go to the next?
Yeah, why not?
Is not my word like as a fire?
Where you at?
Where we at? Jeremiah 23 and
27.
We're at 27.
No,
You want to read it again?
No, you read 26.
Sorry. Jeremiah 23 and 27. Which think to cause my people to forget, to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal.
Which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams. Listen, we forget the Most High's names, listening to the dreams and the other of the prophets that prophesy lies. You understand? We not hearing what the Most High is telling us. You understand? We hearing the deceit and the lust of the heart of our preachers and pastors. Come, sir. We hearing the lust and the deceit from these preachers and pastors. You understand? We are a destroyed people, and they make us forget the Most High's name. They also make us forget who we are. You understand? Go ahead.
Done. Verse 29. Is not my word like as a fire? Talking about Salaki. Oh, we had 28?
28.
Salaki. Jeremiah 23 and verse 28. The prophet that hath a dream, let him tell a dream. And he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully. What is the chaff to the wheat, saith the Lord?
It says, the prophet that hath a dream, let him have a dream. Let them prophets, let them false prophets tell those fake lies. You understand? But the prophets that speak for the Most High, listen to those words. You understand? The only way we're going to hear that, listen to it. It says, the prophets that have a dream, let him tell a dream. And he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully. We got to listen to that faithful word from the Most High. We can't keep listening to the lies that these fake false prophets be giving us. You understand? This is the reason why we fall in the way that we fall. This is the reason why we fall for Christianity. Christianity has totally destroyed us as a people. You understand? Christianity has totally destroyed us as a people. You understand? We gotta, and it says, and he that have my word, let him speak my word faithfully. What is the chaff to the wheat? You understand? The chaff to the wheat. The chaff is the stuff that is not needed. You understand? That's the stuff that's thrown away, that's burned up. The wheat is what we take. You understand? The wheat is what has the vitamins, and that's what is fulfilling. You understand? We gotta understand who we are in the Most High. You understand? I'm gonna drop that, and we're gonna go to Second Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 17. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Most High, and teach not the unclean thing, and I will receive you.
It says, wherefore come out from among them. Come out from among them. We are told this often in the Bible. You understand? Come out from among them. Come out from these customs and cultures of these other nations. And this is the problem with us, because we don't know who we are. We fall into every custom and culture on the face of this earth. We are part of Christianity. We are part of Islam. We are part of Buddhism. We are part of Egyptology. We are part of, what's that other one? what's that one with the pyramid? The dude with the pyramid.
Egyptology.
Yeah, but what's his name? The dude.
Kemet.
All of that bull. Anyway, all of that. You understand? We fall up under every.
Sinetta.
No. What's the one that one that got arrested for the child molestation, all of that type of stuff? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah. But
World of Light.
not him, but the one he was under, the teacher, his master teacher,
Dr. York.
Dr. York. Yeah, because you know he had his own thing. His thing was aside from Egyptology. Yeah, you know what I mean. We fall for everything because we don't know who we are. You understand? It says, wherefore come out from among them. We got to come out from among these other customs and cultures because these are the things that keep us down and keep us destroyed as a people. You understand? We got to understand who we are. We are the true Jews of the Bible. We are the people that the Bible speak about. You understand? We are the people.
Tonight, can I say something?
Go ahead, sir.
You made a hell of a point. We wasted all of those millions of dollars supporting Dr. York and building pyramids just for him to molest our children.
Right. just
That's insane.
And then the thing is you know what's more horrible is you got people that speak today on TV and social media that say, even though this man been convicted, if I didn't see it, it didn't happen. That support him. You understand? And this is how destroyed we are. And this is the reason why the Most High says, come out from among them. Because when we fall up under the things like this, we become more and more destroyed every day that we in this stuff. You understand? We become separated from the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? We become separated more and more to the point where we don't even want to bring discipline upon a child molester. You understand what I'm saying? We don't even want to discipline a child molester. You falling into a culture so much so that you can't even discipline a Catholic priest. You understand? They just said that I just watching CNN today where they was talking about that cardinal, that what's the name, that retired because for decades and decades and decades they had the big cover up of the priest that was molesting children, you know, under his watch, and he knew about it. You understand? And we fall so much for this Catholicism and things like that we keep forcing our children into predicaments and positions like that. You understand? We are destroyed people because of a lack of knowledge. It says, and be ye separate, saith the Most High, and touch not the unclean thing. We can't touch these things. We can't come in contact with homosexuality. We can't come in contact with bestiality. We can't touch the unclean thing. We can't touch the things that separate us from the Most High. We can't, we have to keep ourselves separate. You understand? From the unclean thing, and the Most High will receive us. You understand? He will give us the things that we need. Listen, it says Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the first through the 14th verse tells us everything that all of the blessings that we'll get if we follow what the Most High tells us. You understand? Think about it. The first 1 through 14 tells us all of the blessings. And then 15 through 68 tells us all of the curses. You understand? It's not hard. It's not hard to make a choice. What would you rather have? 50-something curses or 14 blessings? You understand? The choice is up to you. You understand? And with that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Command of General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the descendants of the greatest people to ever walk the face of this earth, and the Bible identifies them as the true Jews of the Bible, the 12 tribes of Israel. And with that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest Officer Kawan Palak. Right there.
One second. One moment, my people. Hey, one moment, my people. Salakia. Security announcement. Well, I ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Hunter. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8 and 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, and is pronounced Mashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the Treasury Department or teacher, priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give, upcoming holy congregation. Passover is coming up, peeps. Get your hotel, get your plane flight. Let's get up there. Let's see what's good. Let's see what's up. We're going to be out there in Florida free. You understand what I'm saying? See the whole family of Israel, man. Let's get it in. Let's party like the Lord said we supposed to do, man. Eat some lamb and watch our enemies be vanquished, man. Let's show the Lord that we love his holidays. We love the power that he's given us, and we love the power that he wills in our name. All right? Upcoming holy congregation. Remind Achimat Raphaim to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK's events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Imagim Shabbat, Imagim Barak, Yahaba Shimon Shabbat, Yazim Matah. Class dismissed.
Something